is juiced up better than Nate is certainly for his eye on in key moments the last couple of years. And both of these two teams, officials Pat Frere, Jason Goebel, and Derek Collins. First of two regular season meetings, Julius Randle against his old team. And boy, hasn't said much last couple of days in preparation for this night. You know, he's got a lot of pent-up emotions going up against his old team.
Yeah, he and Dante DiVincenzo, a lot of emotions in this game. Traded players, guys who think they were spurned by their original team, always want to play well against that team.
Jalen Brunson misfires on his first take. Randle aggressively working against the Chua, wiggles his way here at the start.
Yeah, and he's been struggling a little bit over the last 7 games, averaging a little less than 16 points a game, 20 on the year, but it's been a struggle lately.
23% from deep over his last 9 games.
Yeah, you always like a guy that's slumping to see that first one go down.
Randle loses his footing, gets it into the corner. McDaniels, who's playing well of late. Stan, one of the really bright young defensive players in the league, bangs in a corner 3. Here comes Brunson.
A 3-pointer and 2 buckets. He's accounted for all 7 points.
McDaniels, nice to hit their first 4 shots.
Yeah, and that's a good sign for them, Spiro, because even though they've won 6 out of 7, their offense has been a big struggle. It's been their defense carrying them. They're 27th in the league offensively over those 7 games.
A little bit sloppy from Cat that time, and Nick turnover. That's been an issue for them over the last couple of weeks. As that corner 3 that time won't go for McDaniels. Mikal Bridges into the corner. This is Brunson and net.
Of his career, especially from 3, over 43% this year.
Both teams have been off since Sunday, both benefiting from some extra practice time with the NBA. Lowest points per game average of his career. So a good sign early in this game for Minnesota.
Yeah, lowest also field goal percentage of the year as Cat throws another one away.
Minnesota coming in off their Sunday win over San Antonio on the road. They won that game 106-92. They're 6-1 in their last 7 to get their record up to 14-11 on the season. Carl,
best shooting big man ever in this league.
That's a big statement from you. He's shooting a career high from 3. Stan just mentioned his shooting percentage and what has been really a career start offensively below 34%.
Yeah, the lowest since his rookie year, but over the last 7 games, he's averaged 21 points a game.
Randy, what a matchup there against Cat tonight. As the Knicks on the push here with Brunson. Early stages in Minneapolis. Knicks entering the night 16-10. They've won 4 straight on the road as Bridges misfires from 3. Knicks number 3 team in the East. But begin the night 5 games behind Boston with the Celtics in that 2 slot. Randle.
Well, that's where he
in January basically ended his season. He eventually had surgery in April. And the Knicks, despite that, able to get to the second round of the playoffs. Here's a Chua into the paint. Boy, oh, it is now the 4-time Defensive Player of the Year. To get the Knicks back in front. Randle finds a spot. Boy, he is cooking here at the start for Minnesota.
2 assists.
Randle has had his offensive struggles, still trying to mesh with his new team. Bridges walks a tightrope on the baseline out to Anunoby. Shot clock at 5. Bridges keeps his balance, misses on a turn, and a rebound tracked down by Conley. Chris Finch telling us, look, we got to do a better job of getting Randle in his comfort spots. Randle here off balance, and the rebound by Karl-Anthony Towns.
We've got some tired guys out there right now. There have been no stoppages in play. I mean, this game is just going up and down. A lot of guys trying to catch their breath right now.
Rapidly moving first quarter. Achua, they play off, gets to the free throw line. And the rebound corralled by Gobert. So already coming up on the midway point of this first quarter. Anthony Edwards awfully quiet at the start as they've ridden the hot hand of Randle. Stan, you know that they want to get Randle off to a big night against his old team. Here comes Brunson, the Euro step poked away. And here comes Edwards. Into the corner. Randall wide open. Team.
And talking to the New York bench.
Good little back. Spiro Ditas, Stan Van Gundy, Jared Greenberg, rest of our TNT crew. Julius Randle so far has stolen the show from Karl Anthony Towns. Edwards on the drive and kick. McDaniels from the corner. Boy, this Minnesota offense, highly efficient.
Defensively, but this looks like the first couple weeks of the season when they were knocking down everything.
That was a big question for Minnesota. #1 defensive team in the league last year. Could they take strides offensively as Bridges goes left hand?
By Towns, his second assist of the night. Minnesota's gone to the bench here earlier than the Knicks. Naz Reid shoots a three. He's into the game. Nickeil Alexander-Walker into the game. The Knicks still with their starting five here, 7.5 minutes in.
Karl Anthony Towns has only attempted one shot. Early make, makes another turnover. Up the floor comes Alexander-Walker, having a career year in what is a contract year for the floor, showing his grit. Dante DiVincenzo has checked into the game.
DiVincenzo was absolutely phenomenal in the playoffs, and a big loss for the Knicks, but he's just struggled to find his offensive game here so far in Minnesota.
But Chua, boy, leaning in, gets it back. The tip won't go. DiVincenzo going to push. Tough pass. It's going to be against. Into his bench, Deuce McBride has checked in, as has Jericho Sims, a Minneapolis native, grew up not far from here, played his high school ball about 2 miles away. He wastes no time for the Knicks.
Wow, gets in there. This is a guy who only averages fewer than 2 points a game, so he's already over his average.
The tips told us that we should expect to see him tonight. Reid.
Well, and again, this is another guy, Naz Reid, who's been struggling from three, 21% from three over the last 5 games. All the guys that are struggling so far tonight are knocking down shots. First 18 games, they were second in the league at just under 12 turnovers.
About first 18 games, the offensive rating, as they try to continue on this pace, climbing the ranks in the Eastern Conference. DiVincenzo, a couple of stabs at it underneath, but the Timberwolves come up empty. This is McBride. He has struggled of late, pulls his first 3, misses. Bridges gets it for the Knicks, and they're going to reset here with Brunson. Towns on the box, around the horn, into the corner. This is McBride. Brunson from the corner. A little bit too much. Brunson screaming for a foul as he worked against his old buddy DiVincenzo. Here's Edwards, the spin, the slide of...
Well, and that's Anthony Edwards at his best. We haven't seen as much of it this year.
Trust each other. Trust each other.
And our State Farm audio assist. Tom Thibodeau making his return to Minneapolis. 2.5 seasons here as the head coach. Still actually booed vociferously, interestingly, here in Minneapolis.
Yeah, after getting them into the playoffs, after a dozen years of missing the playoffs, they boo him. So the life of a coach, not always easy.
As Reid misses on a straightaway 3. This is Towns, gets it into the corner to Bridges. 3. Good.
Well, and Towns, that's his 3rd assist of the night, but has 4 turnovers already here in the first quarter.
Edwards around a screen, gets it from Gobert. A little bit too much of a line drive trajectory on that bank attempt. So Minnesota, 11 of 21 from the field. Brunson.
He's making it work with a whole new team.
Energy. The love.
I always admire teams in points. He's got 3 now, but I always admire teams who, coming off a really good year, Spiro, don't stand pat. They want that one more step. They're always looking.
Can they be strong enough to make what they hope will be another deep run through the Western Conference playoffs? Randall trying to lead in against Anunoby here tonight.
The last 8 games is they get almost 15 makes a game.
The Knicks last year stand top 10 in the league in defensive rating. They started really poorly, which you have to expect with some of the pieces that they shipped out of town, as McBride fills it up.
Last 4 games.
4th year in the league for McBride. He's still only 24 years of age. So in that 3-year extension, here comes Anunoby off the takeaway.
Great aggressive show by Jalen.
Comfortable and giving me a chance to utilize my talent.
Towns, everything he did on the floor in the community here, you just can't overstate how towering a presence he had here for almost a decade. Anunoby turned back. For McDaniels, that defensive instinct. Shot clock didn't reset, and Anunoby has to fire. And the Knicks poked around. Bridges gets it back. Bridges! Matters tonight, it's 17 points per game. Last year for the Nets was a touch under 20 per night. Here's DiVincenzo, slices into the paint. His pass a little bit low for Gobert, and that's a Minnesota turnover. This is Campaign with
14 for 24.
Knicks on a 16-4 run as they have opened up a 5-point lead. DiVincenzo, is this the night, Stan, that he finally gets his offensive game going for his new team? Nicely moved to the cup. This is Towns as a stand from three-point distance for Towns.
And that's his favorite one. He loves that trail three where he's stepping right into it. And now Minnesota having turnover problems like the Knicks have. Both teams with 6 now.
Early stages, second quarter. Bridges coming around a screen. Alexander Walker out of McDaniels. Knicks again, if you've just joined us, playing without Josh Hart tonight. He's not with the team due to personal
offense and rebounding. But Tom Thibodeau play Mitchell Robinson and Karl Anthony Towns together really has not had the chance this year to play big lineups.
Mitchell Robinson getting closer, still doing mostly only conditioning work as he rehabs his way back from that offseason ankle surgery. This is Payne, transition three, a little bit too much. And the rebound corralled by McDaniels.
Well, this is a tough lineup, though, for Minnesota. They're struggling offensively as Dillingham shoots the pull-up with both their leading scorers out of the game, Edwards and Randall. Finding offense with this unit is going to be difficult.
Chris Finch just trying to buy some minutes here as we play early stages, second quarter. Anunoby, but look at DiVincenzo getting his hands dirty. And Anunoby gets it to McBride into the corner. Bridges has to fire with 2 to shoot. Excellent defense from Minnesota.
Yeah, one of their best defensive possessions here of this quarter, but offensively they just... Julius Randle had it going in the first quarter, and he looked to be more of a facilitator than anything else.
McDaniels swallowed up. Here comes McBride to the cup. DiVincenzo got a piece, and then McBride. Looks like he's okay.
Edwards and Julius Randle back into the game after the Knicks have a 17-2 second quarter advantage here, trying to get some offense going.
So Julius Randle, hot hand so far. Can he get his offense reignited? 15 points. This is his first take as he checks back in for Minnesota. And Anunoby, out of Payne, drives, kicks, and Anunoby straightaway three. Finds the laces, well short. Ball caroms into the waiting arms of...
chances now. This is what they did so well last year as the best offensive rebounding team in the league. Haven't been the same without Hartenstein and Mitchell Robinson.
Gobert's been awfully quiet so percentage since his rookie season. Just put it all together last year after think of the struggles that they had.
I think that would ever work. I really didn't. The two of them. Chris Finch just did a masterful job getting those guys to be able to play together at both ends of the floor.
And boy, did they ever put it all together. 56 wins, one of the great seasons in franchise history last year. So the Timberwolves realizing got to hit the drawing board and basically start from scratch with the changes that were made. Here's DiVincenzo misfired. Minnesota just 1 field goal in the last 6 minutes. And right now, suddenly playing in a 17-point hole.
Towns knows they're going to be coming with the double, so he's got 13 and 10. He's already got a double-double. We're not even halfway through the second quarter.
Randall from Minnesota inspiration as they come up empty again. Knicks on the push with Payne. Here comes Towns, the trailer extending, misses point blank. Anytime at this end, Minnesota has missed 8 of their last 9 shots. Conley wide open. And then Gobert just unable to squeeze the offensive rebound. Would have had an open layup.
Minnesota's just gone cold here.
Towns left off. It's the 6th win by the Knicks in the last 7:20.
It's been an incredible run here.
Edwards poked away and another takeaway for the Knicks. Here comes Payne, the Euro step to the cup, missed it. And who does Minnesota turn to for offense? Here's their star. Edwards swallowed up by Towns. Out for the three.
But they need that.
Here comes Payne. Now Towns, the trailer. Boy, Towns.
Speculation as to why, if we keep it real after this season, they would have been paying their top 3 players more than $135 million combined. Not really feasible for a team that's in the midst, guys, of an ownership dispute.
Yeah, that's been the big headline with Alex Rodriguez, Mark Lowry, hoping to take full control of this franchise moving forward. That really the backdrop to a decision and a trade that, again, just sent shockwaves throughout the NBA when it was announced just on the eve of camp.
Yeah, and it's really tough to do a lot when you don't know who's in charge.
But that thing headed to mediation in January. People in that will be settled in January. People around here certainly hope that they will finally have some clarity. Look, the Knicks are 11 of 19 from deep. They're doing a lot of their damage in the quarter. Anunoby picking Randall's pocket. Foot race into the corner. This is McBride, and he
the ball. Their defense has really stepped up here in the second quarter.
Boy, this thing has gotten ugly quickly for Chris Finch and Minnesota. And boy, you can hear the groans here from this hometown crowd as the Knicks just toying with Minnesota's defense. Pick and roll action to Towns. As we play late stages of this, retire his number here one day, no doubt. Years.
Absolutely, and it culminated last year with the trip to the Western Conference Finals.
Can his old team get their offense together? Naz Reid, a little bit short, rebounded Chua. Knicks, if you've just hopped on with us, have outscored Minnesota in the quarter stand 37-8.
That one.
Knicks again playing without Josh Hart tonight. Nice drive and finish at the trying to get his team jump started. He's got 7.
Alexander Walker's always been better to his left hand. Right-handed player, but much better driving the ball to his left.
Final 3 minutes before halftime. Brunson around a screen, working with Towns into the corner for McBride. Short arms the 3, gets his own miss. Edwards off and running.
Just on running him off the 3-point line, shooting over 10 a game from the floor, 2 for 7 from 3 and 5 turnovers. They haven't been able to get anything going. The Knicks, meantime, doing that extra pass there. Anunoby, always one of the best cutters in the league, gets to the rim for the dunk.
So the Knicks, a team that enters the night having won 11 of their last 15 games, including their last outing on Sunday in Orlando, picked up where they have left off. This was the Knicks team, Stan, that everyone was expecting at the start of the season, but they struggled out of the gate. Chua, Minnesota defense.
Yeah, this is the best New York's defense or offense has looked in a while, and Minnesota has been dominant defensively and cannot get a stop tonight.
Indeed they have, especially on this 6-1 run. Randall short arms the 3. Not many second chances.
In that run that they've had, winning 6 out of 7, all 6 wins, they've held people to 92 or below. 3 times they've held people in the 80s. And the Knicks up 3 points here in the first half tonight. Another turnover there. Both teams with 9.
Here comes Reid. Hard finish, misses, believe in this day and age in the NBA. It's incredible.
No, it has been now. They haven't played a team that was ranked in the top 13 offensively. Starting tonight, 4 of their 8 games coming up are against teams in the top 8 offensively. So that defense is going to be tested, and it has been tonight.
Little quasi-training camp with the NBA Cup. He misfires. And up the floor comes Minnesota. Randall on the attack. Couple of fakes.
Go. Ball that any of us will come in the thoughts.
Aren't even thinking about you. 73-48, final 20 seconds before the half. Jalen Brunson and the Knicks in what has been a command first half performance. These 2 teams that engaged in that blockbuster deal just on the eve of camp. As the Knicks come up empty, rare miss into the corner. This is Edwards, and
Came in red hot defensively, but he says his team lacking on that end of the first half. Transition mistakes, matchup mistakes. Need a higher pickup point on the Knicks on the pick and roll. We'll see, Stan. They've been playing much better over the last 7 games on that end. Didn't see it in the first half.
this is Bridges had one of the first half. And just to what Jared just said, and Stan, you alluded to this, this 6-1 stretch for Minnesota, they allowed more than 92 points only once.
And
again, in this day and age,
they lost.
it was unbelievable. In this day and age, with all the scoring in the prelims last year.
Yeah, no question. I mean, this is a team that needed to get their defensive identity back. Seemed like they had it, but tonight struggling. Sometimes the offense is just too good.
Bridges a little bit too much. Towns able to track down the miss into the paint, out to Brunson, finds the laces, and that's short. Haven't needed much in the way of scoring from Jalen Brunson tonight. 11 points with Towns leading. See him in a half, trying to ignite his game.
Well, that's the shot he wants on pick and rolls. He wants that pull-up 3. They have not given them that to him tonight. They've been up, but they gave him his first look at
Average, he's got 18 points. Enters the night averaging 17. Considerable little dip after he averaged nearly 20 last year for Brooklyn. Randall. Well challenged underneath. Bridges on the push, and then it's a
Julius Randle. And obviously he had his way. Now they've gone to OGN and good year. Offensive.
For 7 years without Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah, and they had, Chris Finch had found a way to get the chemistry between Towns and Gobert. Now he's got to adjust to somebody new. Not always easy.
Towns against Randall. McDaniels comes to help. This is Brunson into the paint. Nicely done. Conley able to get the clean strip. Ahead of the pack, Edwards underneath Gobert in Oklahoma City.
Yeah, look, I mean, that defense has been dominant against mediocre to weak offenses. Now we're going to find out in this stretch if Minnesota's defense is really back and if they can limit these good offensive teams they're going to have to play against.
Jared, what do you got?
Yeah, if you expand that schedule out and go 8 games in 15 days, Coach Finch's words and Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert worked on a lot of different 2- and 3-man.
So that they can take that time at the NBA Cup in the quarterfinals, semis, and finals. So there isn't a lot of time, but now they've had that time. The problem tonight is they haven't been able to get that defense going to the level it has been.
Which is ironic on a deep corner 2 to get the Knicks lead back to 22. Cat now with 24 points in his return to his old stomping grounds. Good strong on the 3. And the 2 big questions for Minnesota with their offense stand. Can they get Randall going as Bridges inside sneaking T-Crew? Downtown Minneapolis, Karl Anthony Towns, Julius Randle facing their former teams tonight. And so far it has been all Knicks. Anthony Edwards, can he get a massive second half from Edwards?
Well, they do, and it was a great drive, but Bridges is doing an outstanding job of running him off that 3-point line and forcing him into what he really hasn't wanted to do as much this year, was to attack the basket and have to score in the paint.
Brunson, that patented step back, missed it short, and a loose change corralled underneath by Gobert. And Minnesota make a push here. Randall into the paint, nearly got caught. Out to Conley, tough teardrop over Towns, left it short. And Conley now just 1 of 5 from the field.
Much better job getting back by Minnesota that time. Back into the paint in transition, and that's the 3rd trail 3 Towns has got, and then he gets a block shot as they force Edwards into the help again.
And a no-beat come.
Well, the guys who have been the best, Shinzo, who are playing on it
tonight, as he's had this stretch where he's underperformed a little bit. And Dante DiVincenzo, they desperately need him to get his game going. He was such a big piece in that trade. And look, it's just not going to be a team that fills out his potential if he can't figure it out.
No, I totally agree, and I'm surprised at the shooting numbers he's had. It is different.
Then it becomes a little bit of a confidence thing, but we've seen DiVincenzo how prolific he's been. Last year, again, franchise record in made threes in a season for the Knicks. But so far this year, just has not been the same guy. Brunson off-balance baseline jumper.
That was great defense by Randall here. A tough matchup on Brunson.
Randall baseline, beautiful dime. It's been fascinating to see Edwards kind of alter his offensive game with so much of his scoring coming from the three-point line. Shot clock down to 9. Bridges skips it near corner to Brunson. The three.
Bridges has been outstanding. Great pass as Brunson fades to the corner.
And the Knick lead now up to 28 points as we approach the 5-minute mark left in the quarter. Here comes Bridges, the Iron Man, into. And again, this is a guy who has been struggling offensively, trying to get acclimated to his new team. Edwards. So 7 of Edwards, 14 points in the quarter. You just saw that last graphic. Brunson against Alexander Walker. Shot clock at 9. Towns into the paint. So unselfish into the consent.
Well, and they've made 15 against a team who leads the league, giving up fewer than 12 a night.
McDaniels unable to answer for Minnesota. Timberwolves by comparison 40%, and then
the passing's great. New York's not a great running team. You can't be giving up these points in transition when you're trying to get back in the game.
And Stan again, starting to hear those groans, some light murmurs of boos here in Minneapolis as the Knicks just completely put it on the Timberwolves. Shot clock at 3. Alexander Walker.
An outstanding job on Jalen Brunson, pressuring the ball, getting over picks.
Bridges catch and shoot 3, missed it a little bit too much as we hit the 3-minute mark left in the quarter. Here comes Randall. Been all Knicks in 32 minutes. Keep in mind, he had 22 and 22 on Sunday in the Knicks win down in Orlando.
Well, I've been as impressed with his rebounding as anything, and he's always been a pretty good rebounder, but to lead the league in rebounding, outstanding season he's having.
Bridges!
And his shooting has been a sore point for Knicks fans all year, but he's coming on in these last 8 games, and certainly tonight doing the job at the defensive end as well. The Knicks continue to do an outstanding job against he and Edwards of running them off the three-point.
Jericho Sims has checked back in for the Knicks. What a beautiful feed. What a pass. What
game over last year, playing more as a playmaker this year because he's got that scoring around him.
7th dime for Brunson and Jericho Sims. Again, the Minneapolis native coming back home tonight as DiVincenzo misfires from 3. Jericho Sims out of Cristo Rey Jesuit High School here in Minneapolis. Mentioned earlier, had his jersey retired by his high school last night. Bunch of Knicks, Tom Thibodeau in attendance. Shot clock now down to 7. Towns fighting off Reed. The second half of the year, Randall much more of a sustainable to Brunson in this offense.
Yeah, I'm down almost 4 points a game, but percentage both up. You already said his assists are up. He knows he's got help. He doesn't have to do everything.
The only question will be how far can this Knicks team go? Will it be enough? Trying to keep pace in the Eastern Conference with Boston. Milwaukee starting to show some signs as Karl Anthony Towns for the Knicks. He's got 30 points. And we're still in the 3rd quarter. What a
team headed toward a 30-20 night, which you just don't see very often in this league.
And boy, Edwards launches a 3 in front of the Knicks bench. It's Minnesota right now barely showing a heartbeat. Down command.
Well, the Knicks gave up 33 points to the Wolves in the first quarter, and they've only given up 41 since.
McBride would...
A couple of organizations that he worked closely with throughout his time in Minnesota. And guys, there are so many other people here. Dad, Big Cat. here watching along as
Experience as a player coming into the league. Getting a chance to play his rookie year with the great Kevin Garnett. And again, Stan, putting this franchise back on.
Just before the game that he was keeping an eye on us.
Yeah, he was
He
paying
wanted to
attention.
make sure. He said, don't give me anything to get mad about. as his son grabs his 19th rebound of the night to go with 30 points and 6 assists.
Again, Towns, who leads the league in rebounds per game. Stan mentioned earlier, Sims, clean strip by Edwards from the back. Can Minnesota make a push here in this fourth quarter? Edwards. Again, Minnesota beginning a grueling stretch of their schedule. They're going to face some of the best teams in the league over the next 2 weeks. This is McBride today. Look at that score, 109-74 Knicks over from the corner.
Well, he needed to see one go in, and so maybe you're not going to get a lot out of this last 10 minutes. Chris Finch has emptied his bench, but if you can get Dante DiVincenzo going and see the ball go in the basket some, that may help him down the road.
Or the rookie Dillingham. Luka Garza with a chance. Fourth-year player out of Iowa. And Minnesota comes up empty, so Chris Finch just desperately looking for any kind of spark here as we play early stages of the fourth quarter. Karl Anthony Towns, the drive and kick. Payne back to McBride, straightaway three. And a rare miss for the Knicks, but they track it down. Then it's taken back by Minnesota. Another layup right at the rim. He's not unable to put it down for Minnesota. Towns quick.
Well, this is an area where Minnesota's gotten a lot better lately with transition defense. Tonight, it has been non-existent. Turned it over since.
Again, just a dream script in his return back to Target Center. That is key.
Multiple threes tonight.
So the Knicks, Stan, are going to improve to 12-4 in their last 16 games. DiVincenzo.
You hate to see him
That's what we love to.
win, lose, anything. That's how you let these guys know, like Dottier and Jericho Sims, that what they do is important because he's not just sitting down. This is a game. You look at all these guys on the floor and understand that every pro scout in the NBA will be watching this film tomorrow because they get to see these guys, Minot, Terrence Shannon, Rob Dillingham, Garza, Dottier, all these guys during the year, they get to see them. I guarantee you, every pro scout's going to be sitting down watching the last 10 minutes of this game tomorrow.
This is Payne working that two-man action with Sims. Fires it from deep, well short. Here comes the rookie Dillingham quickly up the floor. 8th overall pick by third stringers for Minnesota as Terrence Shannon making it happen inside.
Yeah, I asked Chris Finch before the game about Terrence Shannon because I had seen him in the Sweet 16 last year and had thought he could become a very good NBA player. And Chris Finch telling us that they love him. He's a guy who can get downhill, really attack.
Terrence Shannon, late first-round pick, working his way through his rookie NBA campaign for the Timberwolves. But Chua coughs it up against Minot and got it back. Minot, good activity. Loose ball, McBride. Misses point blank, and then it's a Chua. 116-85. This is week before Christmas. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Happy to have you with us on this Thursday night downtown Minneapolis, a night that has been owned by the New York Knicks, 116-88. Team that began the night 16-10, number 3 team in the East, top of the Eastern Conference as Achua builds on his point total.
Well, look, Bridges and Towns have had such outstanding nights that we've sort of overlooked what precious double tonight, 13 points, 9 rebounds. Seems like from the time he came here, it's only his 6th game this year, but even last year, when he's gotten his opportunity, he has come through.
Boy, tough pass.
Not had a great preseason for Minnesota. It looked like he might even be able to get into their 9-man rotation, but Chris Finch, wisely for a team that has to win, went with deep three. If nothing could come out of these last few minutes, other than Dante DiVincenzo getting some confidence back, that would be well worth it.
That was Pacome Dadier, misses on a three. Sims in tight. The Minneapolis native misses on a turnaround fade. Hit the floor comes DiVincenzo. On the wing, this is Minot up to the cup. Boy, showing a little bit of everything here. 1-year college ball at Memphis. Into the corner, Dadier on a misfire. This is Dillingham, weaves his way through, and then Achua with the intercept. A little bit of a push.
Season out there, 2 stars. The East is going to be very, very competitive.
Way through. What do you think? Can they challenge Boston?
I don't know. I think that they certainly are better positioned to do it than they were a year ago. Towns and Bridges are 2 huge additions. And we got to remember tonight they're playing without Josh Hart, who's having an outstanding year.
Sorry, Stan, I just put you on the spot.
Sims tonight. Guy who's only been playing about 12 minutes a game, averaging 2 points, but working real.
Precious Achua's return from injury. But what a night for him. Again, got his high school jersey retired last night. A bunch of the Knicks were there. Tom Thibodeau, Jalen Brunson actually spoke at the podium as the three-pointer from Ryan won't go, and the rebound underneath by DiVincenzo. This is Dillingham on the 3. Rebound McBride up the floor. Ryan.
His bench, the coach is just very unhappy. I mean, even with this group in now, just not getting back defensively at all. And this is an area they've really shored up lately.
Their schedule is DiVincenzo hits on a straightaway 3. You know, it's a long NBA season. Of course, you have these kind of nights, but this was a Minnesota team that began the night red hot. Winners of 6 of their last 7. Well, boy, did they take it on the chin tonight by the Knicks. As
he had not scored in double figures the last 4 games. He's a guy who averages double figures, and so to come out here tonight, an NBA player.
Consensus second-team All-American, Cousy Award finalist at Marquette. What a collegiate run he had there. And getting a chance here with 90 seconds left in regulation.
And when Campaign was hurt earlier this year, Kolek was their backup point guard and played very, very well. They like him. Campaign, though, is a veteran guy who's been through it. He's having a good year. So right now, Kolek has to sit. But I think they have confidence if they need Tyler Kolek that he can get the job done.
And playoff experience he's had at his... As Minot misses short on the 3. And the Knicks control as we hit the final 60 seconds. Reminder to keep it here after the game. We'll get you to Inside the NBA. Back to Atlanta, presented by Kia. Left coach Chuck, Shaq, and Kenny. Take you around the league, get you their thoughts on this one. Not hard with his right hand.
Look, Josh Minot is making the most of his minutes. You know, there is no... In the NBA, there's always somebody watching you. Your own coaching staff, other front offices.
Young Knick players getting a chance here in the closing seconds. So the Knicks are...
Crowd had to cheer for as they wanted free food if Porty had missed them both, but he didn't. And so these fans who've been disappointed all night, disappointed again.
The Knicks 133, the Timberwolves 107. As Karl Anthony Towns comes back home and leads a dominant Knick performance as New York improves to 12.